Hey, what's up YouTube? Before we get into the video of me showing you the seat cover replacement, I'm going to give you an update on this YZ85 rebuild series. I want to say first off, I apologize. I haven't posted really at all this year, 2026. I've had a couple things come up earlier, January and February. Now we're to the end of March and it seems like I haven't done a whole lot. I've been chipping away at this as much as I can. I'm doing it on my dime, my budget. I've got a whole bunch of parts that I'm going to show you here in a second. I got some parts that are already completed. The frame is still actually at powder coat. The frame, the swing arm, and the subframe are all going to get new black powder coat. The suspension is actually at JBI right now, getting coated. And the shock is there getting coated as well. So when all that stuff comes back, I'm gonna put all that back together and it'll all be done. I'm redoing the stock header, the stock pipe for this, instead of getting an aftermarket pipe, just to see what I can make out of the stock pipe and how good it can look without really spending a whole lot of money. I've got my prime wheels and all that stuff that's helping me out quite a bit. So this is just going to show you kind of where we're at with what parts we've got, where we're standing at the end of March here. And yeah, hopefully you guys will like it. Okay, first things first, I polished up some of the linkage here. Got some bearings pressed in. I was going to coat these Cerakote. I opted not to, just because I like this polished look. I used those prime wheels and took off all the castings. These are all polished up. I think those will look pretty good. So this is in another video. I've already started working on this. You can tell it's getting polished out, right? So this is the stock pipe. You can still see some of that dull finish that this thing had. I took the lettering off of it, and then I'm also gonna kind of blue it, use some heat and blue it here and all the way around and make this thing kind of look as factory as we can without spending any money on the pipe. It's just the prime wheels and polishing and putting some heat on it. Later in the video, I'll show you replacing the seat cover. Foam's in pretty good condition. I cleaned up the base and all that stuff. So, I've got seats ready to go back on the bike. We've got cases here ready for sandblasting. Ready for sandblasting, and this is actually going to get coated in a tungsten color. This H237 Cerakote tungsten. It's not black. You can kind of see it's more of a gray, so I'll put this next to like gloss black here. You can kind of see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick up a whole lot, how much darker that is. But I think this stuff's going to look pretty cool. It's going to make it look really uniform. For something different. I know that there's a lot of guys that will do, vapor blast these things, or silver or black or whatever. I feel like tungsten might be a little bit different, and we'll get a good contrast between the covers that are going to go here and everything else. All the hardware. I got spec bolt hardware kit for the entire bike. This thing's already been blasted in the cabinet. I'm gonna go ahead and do this in black, Cerakote gloss black, and then maybe some white lettering or something in the Yamaha there. Here's the rest of the engine. Obviously still in a lot of pieces, but we'll get to that. I have a new crank. It's on hand. OEM crank that's gonna go back in it. Wheel on the truing stand. I haven't torn this one down. The front wheel is taken apart. I actually just got the replacement spokes in today. So one of the next videos I'm going to do, tearing these things down and rebuilding them. And then here's our big box of stuff. So we've got, let's see here, Boycine ignition cover. That thing's gonna look so good. See if I can not lose any of these parts. There's the OEM crank. I've got new pegs, all new bearings throughout the whole thing. Opted to go with the Tusk rear brake and shift lever. I'm going to rebuild all the brakes on it as well. All new everything there. Let's see if I can open this up. Brand new fat head for it. I didn't go with the high compression. This is just the YO2, which is 95 octane or higher. I mix for my RM 250. I mix my fuel half and half with VP 110 and 93 octane and 40-to-1 oil. Seems to always do pretty darn good. All balls carb rebuild kit, brakes, new radiator. There's all this other stuff, and then there's a new piston. Ooh, oh, I gotta show this off real quick. So I went with the T-Rex throttle housing, all trick looking. That thing's gonna look so good when it's on the bike. So yeah, we've got parts on parts. Obviously, this thing's still a little ways away from getting done, but I feel like when I get, oh, I've also got new Acerbis white gas tank for it. So I'm going all white plastics. The plastics actually tried to get delivered to my house today, but I guess they had to be signed for. But you know, all white plastics with this white and blue gut seat cover. Overall, I feel like this thing's gonna look so good. Let me flip this back around here real quick. So yeah, this video is actually going to show you me redoing this the seat cover and stuff. So if you guys haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, please. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm at like 230-ish right now. So subscribers, you know, this isn't obviously it's not my full-time job. I just started it. I love building bikes, and you know, over the years, I've torn a couple of these down and rebuilt, but this is by far, I feel like, the most intensive ground to bottom to top, you know, however you want to say it, bike build that I've ever done. So, you know, I'm trying to go step by step, take my time, don't rush the process. I want to do it right. And when it's all said and done, this thing's going to be absolutely sick. So yeah, we'll get into the video of this, the seat cover rebuild. And again, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss another video. All right, guys, back in the shop. We are going to be putting a gut seat cover on this old, deteriorated, shredded seat that we have here. I think the bones of the seat's probably pretty good. I'm gonna take this thing out and actually wash it before we put this thing back on there. But yeah, guts seat covers. If you watch Supercross, Motocross, Pro Motocross, or whatever, I mean, there's a lot of factory guys running these, and Guts Racing supports Veteran Motocross Foundation, which is near and dear to my heart. That's actually what this hat is right here. They support us big time. And so whenever I can give back and use their products, you know, this whole YZ85 build, I don't get anything sent to me. It's all paid for out of my own pocket. And I am more than ecstatic about spending my money on something that supports a foundation and something that I really look forward to contributing to. And you know, the Veteran Motocross Foundation does so much for not just veterans, but everybody that's associated with veterans, their families, and all that stuff. So if you guys ever need a good seat cover, I can't recommend Guts enough for you. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up, old seat cover off of it, and this new seat cover on. All right, we're back. So we're gonna get this thing unpackaged here. Comes in the packaging. And I picked out these colors myself here. White on white with the blue in the middle. Get some QR codes for install. Can't have too many guts stickers. And that's it. One seat cover. Look at that. Oh my God, that looks so good. That is gonna look prime. So throw this off to the side for a bit. And we're gonna start taking all of these staples out of this. If you guys haven't already, go back to the first video that I posted of this teardown of this YZ85, and it'll surely show you pretty quick on how hard this thing has lived its short little 6 or 7 year life. Ripped. Look at that. That whole back was just not even attached to anything. Look at it. The staples are still there. I almost don't even think this thing spent any life inside. It was just behind the shed for
5 minutes later.
All right. Well, that process took, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so, start to finish. Just getting all the staples out. So yeah, I still got some up here, but you know, all that kind of gets covered. I'm gonna take it and get all this washed. I was going to take the seat foam off, but I don't have replacement foam for this right now. Guts also makes replacement seat foam. I've got it on my RM250 and it's phenomenal stuff. I mean, you can get soft, medium, hard foam, tall, you can get bumps, you know, all the extra stuff too. So either way, I don't have foam for it, so I'm not going to try to take this off right now. If I had planned a little better, I would have got new foam for it. Although this isn't in bad shape, so I think it'll be fine, especially with just the new seat cover on there. And then, you know, you're not really going to see most of this stuff. Took the brackets off so I can clean those brackets also. They were just coated in crap. So let's go get this thing cleaned up and back on the bench. Then we'll go ahead and put the seat cover on, and at least the seat will be done. So slowly chipping away at getting little things done for this project. So here is the gun that I use. I think I picked this up from Home Depot. We're shooting just standard, either quarter or 5/16 staples. You don't want anything that's super long that's gonna go through, you know, this thickness here and poke you in the butt. Obviously you don't want the longest that's available. You want just long enough to go through the seat cover and into the base enough to where it holds it fairly secure. So this is just what I use. I'm sure there's other people that use different stuff, but having a pneumatic gun, I know there's electric ones that honestly I don't think they do the greatest. Pneumatic's the way to go. Some people use the actual hard click guns, and I've used those in the past, and it's so much more difficult than using something that has a lot of power and, you know, oomph behind it. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start getting this thing put on. It's best to start, throw this thing over the front like so. Kind of get it lined up a little bit. As long as you're lined up front, yeah, we're a little off in the back. Good right there. So you want it pretty tight. That lines up front. So We're just gonna tack a couple up front. What I do is I push into it and pull it at the same time. So that looks lined up. We'll do the same to the back here. Make sure it still looks even. I'll pull this a little tighter. There we go. And you hold it. The next step would be to pull the side over. And all you're doing early, like that, is to make sure that it's even on both sides. You don't want to obviously so that's even right there. So once we get a lot more, I'll keep pulling it to the side and using the gun to actually keep pulling it tight. It doesn't really matter, I guess, if you work from the front to the back or the back to the front. So I'm actually going to start right here. Just keep pulling it. Again, using the gun. Getting it nice and tight all the way down. I'm no expert. I have done a few of these, and only a few, not hundreds. Just a couple more right here just to hold this nice and tight. All right, look at that. The thing is glued on there now. Really no ripples at all. See if you can see that, how straight that is. God, this bike's gonna look so good. All right, now, since this thing's all the way on, I'm gonna grab just a nice little razor blade. Cut. All right, there she is. Beautiful. Holy cow, that looks so good. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, and last thing, I'm not gonna show you guys this. I'm just gonna get these cleaned up, put the brackets back on here, however they went. I don't even remember. I'll have to look at the video, whether they're forward or back, but yeah. Seat's done.